Welcome back, everyone. Gear 100 is back with another video for you guys today. And today we're going to be continuing on What If Ash Was Red's son. We only got like two parts of these left, so I'm going to make them count. So, guys, last time we left off, Ash had just defeated Blue and he gained his 8th gym badge, which means he gets to rerun his gym badges again if he wanted to for an all-out fight against all the gym leaders. Now, I'm not really going to do that part because I only got like an hour. So I want to fix up everything I want to do. Which means I have to go through the Orange Islands again. Well, okay, let me tell you guys something. I tried to do this video yesterday, but I swear, I don't know why, but the recording had just stopped. So I literally had lost an entire hour of just recording, and I just didn't want to do it again. So that's why you guys didn't get a video yesterday. You were going to, but if I completed the actual video, but I swear this stuff just cut off on me, and I just didn't want to do it all over again. It's like 6. You guys can see at the top left, it's like 6:30 in the goddamn morning when I'm recording this. That's why my voice is like got bass in it at this point in time. It'll be back to normal in like, I don't know, an hour or so. But as of right now, I'm still hearing ringing in my ears from freaking putting my headphones in. But anyway, yeah, let's just continue the video. So, okay, I'm not gonna go through Ash, like, beating the gyms all over again, because that's not really a part of the story. I'm gonna just leave that up to you guys for, your imagination in whatever. So, besides all of that extra stuff right there, only thing I'm gonna be going through is the Orange Islands and, Ash fighting the legendary birds, because he's gonna go through that. And I know it was, I know it was after the, Indigo League, but I do want Ash to fight Mewtwo and everything else. I still want the movie stuff to go down, before the Indigo League, so that way I just want Ash to be straight up overpowered and stuff like that. I mean, because he's the chosen one and whatnot. And well, reasons for that is just because he's just awesome, and also I just want to make the story even much more interesting. Like, what if Ash actually got these legends and stuff like that? So let's pick up where we left off. I've already started like 2 minutes of talking. So anyway, Ash had just defeated Blue and earned his 8th gym badge. And he's super happy about this, that he finally got dang one. It was a tough fight, but he did it. Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to look here. And Blue's congratulating Ash, saying he's very happy for him that he won. And it takes a lot to actually win here, to actually beat him. But Ash managed to pull it off. Him and Gary were the only two that actually pulled it off here. So he walks up to Ash, hands him the gym badge, and puts his hand on his shoulder, saying he can now re-challenge all of the gyms if he wanted to for all-out fights. Because besides what he thinks, Blue wasn't actually giving it his all here. He was just doing his responsibilities as a gym leader because, well, if you challenge him as the 1st or 8th gym, he would have to make his team fair in order to, well, accommodate for it. So, and Ash, like, wait, say you weren't giving it your all? Of course not. Ask your father. Just like he was, I was also a champion of Kanto. I wasn't really using my champion team. Oh, wow. So, you can now go back through the gyms if you want to re-challenge them and do whatever you want. But still, you might want to head back to your house. Someone's waiting for you there. As Ash starts to smile, as Misty and Brock, yeah, they were with Ash this whole time. I just didn't really show them because I just didn't want to. It takes a lot to put these, characters and stuff into this stuff here. It's a lot on me, guys. So sorry if I don't put the characters like absolutely in every single frame. It just sucks. So with all of that being said here, Misty and Brock actually do follow Ash back to his house, and there actually is someone waiting for him. Alright, guys, so Ash had returned to his house to find his father, Red, and his mom, Delia, waiting for him there, as they knew, because Blue called them right when Ash showed up. So, of course, Red was going to wait there for his son. So Ash seeing his dad again, because remember, he hasn't been home since his journey started. So immediately, he runs up to both of his parents and gives them a giant hug because he's happy to see them again. And Red just asked, like, the question, did you win? Ash just pulls the left side of his coat, and he shows his father all 8 gym badges. You You've grown strong. You've grown strong, son. Ever since that first day I gave you a Charmander and Mew. You make me proud, Ash. As Ash almost like tears up at this fact because that's all he wants to do, honestly, make his father proud of him. But your journey isn't over yet. Like, and Ash just says, "What do you mean? You may have beaten all the gyms, but look at your friends back there. You didn't beat them at full power, nor did you beat Blue at full power. All of the gyms have to accommodate for what badge you have. So, with that being said, I want you to rerun through the gyms again to make you prepared for the Indigo League." Like, but Dad, the Indigo League isn't for like another few months. It isn't for another few months. I know. I just want to make sure you're ready, because there are going to be strong trainers. There are going to be very strong trainers in Kanto. It wasn't like how it was back then. Well, when I had to go through just the Elite Four, you have to battle through a tournament to earn your right to challenge the Elite Four, son. There's going to be many strong trainers there, and I want you to be ready for it. Okay, you got it. But first, before you go through all of those gyms again, I'd like to give you and your friends a trip. What? As Red Hands pulls out 3 tickets. What's this? It's tickets to the Orange Islands. Orange Islands? Yep. Now, on each specific island, Ash, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a mini Pokemon tournament held on the Orange Islands, but also you might find some legends over there. Wait, what? Yep, the 3 legendary birds, Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno, are on those islands, those respective islands. Whoa, really? Yep. And Misty and Brock would ask how, because Red caught them years ago. And Red would not lie. He would say he did. Like, they would ask him, did he release them or anything? Nope. As he would pull out a Pokeball and he would unveil an Articuno in his Pokeball. So wait, how are there these legends again? For some reason, these legends seem to respawn or some things like that. Yeah, guys. Okay. Side note: in the very first episode, I said Ash was gonna run into legendaries, even though Red caught them all and completed every single Pokedex in the entire world. So you guys may be wondering, how is Ash gonna find these legends, even though like Red has already caught them? It's called Pokemon respawning. I'm putting a little bit of game mechanics in here, so that way these Pokemon can just end up respawning. So there you guys go. All right, moving on. So Red hands Ash, Misty, and Brock these tickets, and he tells them to be on their merry way because their boat's gonna leave in an hour. So they just head off to Vermilion City, and basically Red is now left with Delia again, just to be at his home some more, because it's just been a while since Ash has been at his house. But immediately sending her son off again without so much as a goodbye. That's just how they are. Red Ketchum. You got Red Ketchum, Delia Ketchum, and now you got their son Ash Ketchum. Oh boy. So, okay, now I'm just gonna cut to when they make it to one of the Orange Islands. Let's go. So Ash will finally end up making it to the Orange Islands. This would be amazing. So the Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, huh? Well, if his dad can catch them, then so can he. But first, it's been a long boat ride, so he's gonna catch some Z's. So eventually, after making it onto the beach, the gang would actually bed down for the night. Until that is, they would hear a ruckus going on, and when they would all wake up and look over to what's left of the food, they would actually see a mini crab Pokemon trying to pillage for them. I said pillage. Oh my god, trying to steal their food. All right, a little crab Pokemon. What? And you guys know this would be Krabby. Ash would not really be in the mood for a big battle, and plus, all of his Pokemon would really just one-shot this little tiny crab. So, in all honesty, Ash would just bring out a Pokeball and just chuck it at Krabby. And thankfully, he caught it in one Pokeball. Nice. They would start training bright and early tomorrow. But for now, he's gonna catch about some Z's. Next day. So it's the next day, and Ash is training. This is a good day for Ash because He feels because now it's a chance to catch new Pokemon and be around some new territory he's never actually seen before. So on this land, he ends up training Krabby, and it turns out Krabby was actually ready to evolve right then and there. And wow, didn't even take long because almost immediately Krabby evolved into a Kingler. All right then. Ash would have to rearrange his team a little bit because now he has two water types. I mean, well, there's nothing wrong with having two water types, but two pure water types, might have to put Blastoise like in the bag for right now because this is like a whole new adventure and new Pokemon. So he's probably gonna have to work. He's just gonna work on his new Pokemon right now. So with that being said, Kingler is going to be replacing Blastoise for this one. Now I don't know if I did this, but like in that one side quest, Ash would end up catching a Muck in like this factory or something like that. Okay, so anyway, he has Muck here. So with that being said, Ash is just training his Pokemon because, well, he feels like there's not really much for him to do on this island because he hasn't really run into anything new as of right now. But he's going to, and while he's training a little bit, developing new moves, one of his Pokemon, I'm gonna say, Kingler, actually ends up using a crab hammer on the ground that's a bit too strong, and it kind of messes up the lunchtime that Brock is actually making for them. And oops. Now Misty's very upset at Ash. I mean, for obvious reasons, he messed up the lunch bit, and while he's kind of training too hard, and Misty just makes Ash go out and get more ingredients because the others just fell off into the ground like berries and whatnot. So Ash having nothing to do at this point, but just agreeing to what Misty wants because nag. He just goes into the forest to try and find some actual berries. And while he's in the forest, he finds an amazing Pokemon that he's wanted for a long time. And this Pokemon is actually one of my favorites. It's like actually my top 3. A sleeping Snorlax. Now, Ash was completely excited here. He's wanted a Snorlax for the longest time, but never knew where to find one. Now, he's happy he gets to have one. And Ash knows how much of a powerhouse and a tank Snorlax is because his father has a Snorlax. As you may know, Red has a Snorlax, and when Ash was a little child, he would love to play with Red's Snorlax and just bounce on its belly because it's said in the Pokedex entries, children actually does do that. So Ash really loves Snorlax here. And me personally, I actually do like Snorlax. Snorlax is actually my favorite Pokemon. Whenever there's a chance for me to get a Snorlax on my team, I have to have a Snorlax. I just have to. But anyway, on this situation here, Ash is very excited he gets to have a Snorlax, and this one is very gigantic. Oh, wow. So Ash just walks around to the Snorlax, and he sees that it's sleeping. Oh, well then. Ash would actually pull out a Great Ball. Yeah, different Pokeballs actually do exist in this world, as we've seen with the GS Ball, the Lure Ball, and dang, I forgot. Also, yeah, Master Balls actually do exist in this world. So, with that being said, Ash would pull out a Great Ball and just tap it on the Snorlax's sleeping head, and boop, Snorlax would be caught, just like that. Awesome. Now Ash would have a new capture, and he knows just how much of a powerhouse this Snorlax can be. Oh, you guys better believe he's going to train that Snorlax to the max. And this Snorlax has a very good ability. I like the ability Thick Fat more than Immunity because Thick Fat just halves damage from a lot of freaking things. But okay, but you guys know I like to change up abilities a little bit. Ash's Snorlax ability Thick Fat, it pretty much halves all the damage from all different types because of its so high defense stat. Thick Fat halves damage from all attacks. So basically, you can't really even hurt Snorlax that much because it's just that much of a walking tank. Snorlax has all the perfect EVs and IVs. And if you guys want to know what I mean by that, if you check the Pokemon stat, like the gold, just think of it like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and Snorlax has like S rank and everything. So yeah, that's how much like its chart looks like. This Snorlax is completely overpowered, and Ash is gonna love this Snorlax. Train it up to the max, and oh my god, this Snorlax is gonna be a walking beast in goddamn fights. So with that being said, Ash immediately put the Snorlax on his team because he's got plans for this Snorlax here. So Ash with his new capture coming back with the berries and everything, he would immediately tell Brock and Misty about this. And oh my gosh, this is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be very, very awesome. Because Ash has plans for this Snorlax. Oh boy, he sure does. This Snorlax is just gonna be busted, man. And if you guys want to know, Snorlax is basically on the same power scaling as Charizard. That's how much power it literally has. It's big like Charizard is. Well, Charizard's like much, much, much bigger due to actually being dragon size. But Snorlax is like power scaling. It really does match up to Charizard. Oh man, yeah, that Ash's Snorlax is just too broken. So Ash tells Misty and Brock about the new Snorlax he just caught. And then eventually they actually do run into the Orange Islands professor. And with that being said, Ash is very happy for Brock, but when it's time to move on to the next next place, Brock says he's actually going to stay behind with the professor to achieve his dream of becoming a Pokemon breeder. And Misty and Ash are actually upset about this because Brock's been on their team for a very long time. And Brock knows this, but he promises that whenever Ash will need help, he'll be there. And also to win the tournament, the Indigo League. Ash promises Brock that he will. Sightings of Articuno have been seen on this island. So Ash asks Brock, can he stick around for one last adventure? And Brock just says sure. As basically now, they come out to find the legendary bird. Okay, guys, I don't have time to be changing the scenario every, 5 goddamn minutes. So just stick with this scenario right here, and then we can just deal with just the legendary bird, okay? Okay. So, here we go, y'all. Ash will finally come face-to-face with Articuno. As the gang can't believe it. It really is Articuno. And Ash would say, Articuno, you're mine. As Articuno would let out its cry, because it's not going to be captured without a fight. Yeah, Ash would immediately know what to do. He sends out, Pikachu, I choose you! Alright. Now, when Pikachu hits the floor, it hits its electric sacs on its cheeks, and now it's ready for the fight that's lying ahead. The challenge that is this legendary Pokemon, Articuno. Yeah, so fine. You want to play that game? Then let's play. As Ash already has a plan to hinder Articuno as much as possible. He can't let Articuno get started because it's free. Because with it being a flying type, its free movement allows it, just open air, and Ash needs to limit that. So with that being said, okay, I'm going with the fact that this Pikachu here is just very freaking nice and awesome. So guys, don't go too crazy in the comment section, okay? Oof, where'd that come from? All right, Pikachu. Now, guys, check this out. Use Surf. As immediately Brock and Misty are saying, wait, Pikachu can't learn Surf. But this was just like an off-screen type of thing before he met Brock and Misty. We flash back to when Ash was training in the Viridian Forest. He's heard of some Pokemon who can't actually learn specific moves actually do learn moves. Like a surfing Pikachu. And thankfully, Pikachu is one of those Pokemon that can actually learn Surf. Even though it took a lot, Surf was in the cards. Even though it wasn't fully mastered back when Pikachu first faced Brock, Ash wasn't sure if he would need to use it. He was keeping it in the back cards. But Pikachu does know Surf, and immediately water gets splashed everywhere on Articuno. What the? And Articuno doesn't know why Ash did that. Because it can just freeze this water. And Ash did this for a reason. Pikachu, it's time. Use Volt Tackle! And immediately, Pikachu revs up its lightning on its body and charges Articuno at full power, with the electric sparks coming off of it. Yellow electricity. And then Ash calling to it, go, Pikachu, go! As Pikachu goes even faster, putting more power into it, as the electricity turns blue even, hitting Articuno for super effective damage. for massive amounts of damage as well. Now, Pikachu, of course, taking recoil damage, but it smacks itself in the face, putting itself back in the fight, even causing Articuno massive amounts of damage. And guess what? Articuno was even paralyzed. Ash would not lose here. Now, he would tell Pikachu, well, he sees that Pikachu is kind of running on fumes at this point, so immediately he would recall Pikachu. Now, it's time to bring out some more good Pokemon. Here, let's see what you got. Snorlax, I choose you! As Ash would throw out his pure normal type, this powerhouse. Yeah. Snorlax would see that Articuno is pretty much hurt, but Ash would say, "You ready for this, Snorlax?" As Snorlax would let out its own cry. Oh, it's ready for a fight. It's hungry for a fight. As Articuno would give it into a blizzard, but it's paralyzed. It couldn't move its limbs, and Ash would see this as the perfect opportunity. Now, Snorlax, go and use Body Slam! As Snorlax would jump in the air and then slam directly on Articuno. Wow. Snorlax is just very, very strong. And while still laying on Articuno, can't move its limbs. Now, Snorlax, use Earthquake! Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Wait, Ash shouldn't be able to use Earthquake because it's a flying type. Well, for some reason, if you keep a Pokemon on the ground, you actually can use a ground type move and hit them. So with that being said, Earthquake was used and Articuno was hit. And now Ash had pulled out an Ultra Ball and completely threw it right at Articuno, getting the bird inside of the Ultra Ball. Snorlax stood right back up again, ready for more. But then the ball stopped moving. As Misty and Brock walked over, there's no way. There's no way that Ash actually just did that, right? A legendary Pokemon? He caught it. I caught it. I actually caught it. I caught Articuno! As Ash runs over and hugs Snorlax, and he also hugs Pikachu for the work it put in. And Misty and Brock are happy for Ash. He caught a legendary Pokemon. They never thought they'd see anybody do that. And Ash just said, there's 2 more to go. He's not done yet. So with that being said, Brock just congratulates Ash and wishes him a good journey to the next island. And with Articuno in its box, Ash just thanks Brock. Let's go. Now this is actually very great because now they have a new companion in Tracy, who's also a researcher, and he plans to actually help Ash and Misty throughout their travels. Now, once they make it to the beach, they actually see an injured Lapras or something like that. Or is it a lost Lapras? I don't know. But over time, that episode just goes like normal, and they ride on Lapras's back to the next island. And Lapras thanks them, but Lapras ends up finding its family in the process. Now, Lapras does go to its family, but it looks at Ash. And Ash just gives it a smile because the time they spent together was short, but it really was a good time. But Lapras, looking at its family, it talks to its family, and its family moves their heads around it to say goodbye. And Lapras goes back to Ash. You want to come with us, Lapras? As Lapras would just nod its head, and Ash would just give Lapras a hug, wrap its arms around its neck. And Lapras would put its head down as embrace Ash. And Ash would hey, Lapras' family, I promise to take good care of him. As the other Lapras would let out their own cries, and as they would go off into the ocean. Ash would hold out a Pokeball, saying, "Welcome to you. You may that may be your family, but," as he would pull out a Pokeball, "welcome to our family, Lapras." As Lapras would tap its nose on the Pokeball and be captured. Yeah, I caught Lapras. And now this was a good capture. Now eventually on the other island, Ash would end up catching another Pokemon. That being a Pinsir, because I feel like Ash should have had a Pinsir. It would have been very cool to see him have one. Now with all of Ash also has a Lapras now, and he has a Pinsir. So with that being said, and he also ends up finding another good Pokemon, and this one's quite rare, and it's actually a Ditto. So on the next island, Ash ends up catching 3 Pokemon. Lapras, Pinsir, and Ditto. So let me put them in the boxes respectfully. Now, over the next island. Oh yeah, if you guys want to see, Pinsir's like in the box, like top right in the box on the top, on the right side, right corner, right next to Mew, and under Kingler. Lapras isn't on the team now because Ash wants to train it up. And he wants to put Ditto on the team as well, because Ditto's actually a rare Pokemon, and it's really nice. So if Ash runs into any of those legendary birds again, he'll be prepared. But as of right now, Ash is just strolling through, not really finding anything useful on these islands. So I guess Ash can just keep training his Pokemon, honestly, because there's not really much else for him to do. But while they keep strolling on to the next island, okay. Oh, I got it. So I know this would just be impossible to find. They would actually ended up finding an abandoned building, and checking inside of it, they would be actually confused, because Tracy would actually say this is the old power plant that would actually be used. Like, really? Yeah, but it was abandoned some time ago. But some people say that electricity still courses through it for some reason. And Ash would be confused, like, why is it? If it was abandoned such a long time ago, like, is the electricity even being used for anything? Not really. People just say they hear electric currents in here. That's weird. But until they would just keep exploring more and more, Matt, okay. Now you guys might be wondering, because I'm in the first generation, am I not gonna fully evolve the Pokemon that Ash actually has here? I'm trying to give me a sec, like Scyther, Porygon, and even Magneton. Well, no, I'm not gonna fully evolve these guys until like at least Johto, because I want to give Ash more options to, use on his Pokemon team, because in Johto he was very, very limited. So I understand him losing because, well, he had to rely on his Kanto Pokemon because there's just not much for him to choose from. So I want to give Ash some actual options here. In order, like, he does train these Pokemon, yes he does, but I'm not taking him to like the next step yet until like we actually get to Johto. And keep in mind, this is almost the finale. The finale is like the next episode where he becomes champion at Kanto. So with that being said, this is just the second to last series of Kanto. But I'll make but don't worry guys, I'll make a playlist of the entire Kanto series if you guys ever want to watch that, so that way you guys can catch up on the actual story. So with that being said, let's continue. Exploring within the power plant more has caused Mew, since Ash's real starter, Mew and Charizard, to react to something. And Mew doesn't know what it is, but he leads Ash somewhere. And Ash following close behind, Mew would end up leading him to a room where Misty and Tracy would actually follow in behind Ash. And in that room, here we go. Zapdos would be waiting in that room. Oh boy, here we go. All right, fine then. Ash isn't gonna back down from another legendary. Plus, this is the second one on his list that he needs to capture anyway. So, with that being said, Ash wants to play a different game with Zapdos. He immediately throws out Ditto, and upon Ditto's ability to transform right away, boop. Now, Ash had a Zapdos on his side. Now he was gonna play this strategically, as even Zapdos had to narrow its eyes at the copycat right in front of it. Oh well. Ash knew what he was doing here. He was gonna have to hint, since Zapdos can't actually be paralyzed. He was gonna have to wear it out as much as possible. And what better way than to wear it out than to be fighting its own self? Like, you ready, Ditto? As Dittos would let out a Zapdos cry, as Zapdos would be doing fine. Now, Ash was going to have to play strategic here. What moves did Zapdos have? Oh, of course. Thunder, Thunderbolt, Hurricane, and, oh my gosh, Sky Attack. Great. This is just perfect here. Alright, fine. So this battle would last for like a while. and Zapdos is like doing Brave Birds and Hurricanes, and Ash would end up doing the same thing. They can't really use their own electric type attacks because, well, it's not really going to do anything. And these birds would end up getting tired like very close to the edge. Yeah, sorry guys, I can't really do no big fight here because it would just be Thunderbolt after Thunder, Brave Bird after Brave Bird, Hurricane doing massive damage, yada yada yada. It would just be all that. I mean, there's two Pokemon fighting through the same thing. And even though I could make, the original Zapdos win, Ash would just end up capturing it like within the next fight anyway, because you guys should know what Pokemon he's gonna throw out if you see what's in his party right now. So on that being said, Zapdos would end up being pretty weakened due to exhaustion. Ash would throw a Pokeball and end up, an Ultra Ball and end up capturing Zapdos. Nice. Very, very nice. So with that also happening, Ash didn't really want to rely on his old Pokemon too much because he wanted to get the new ones all trained up and everything else. So with that being said, he immediately took out Nidoking and swapped it for Zapdos because his last Pokemon is going to be, the Hot Bird. So finally capturing Zapdos. Now, Ash is almost done with this, but he wants to train Zapdos. Zapdos needs to learn like a lot more moves than what it has. Well, or different ones at least. But anyway, on this situation, Ash does put Zapdos on his team in order to train it because their next upcoming Pokemon. Oh man, this is gonna get rough. Okay, I'm trying to think. What happened on the Orange Islands? I'm sorry, guys. I just haven't watched the original series in a while, so I'm gonna just make Ash storm through it. Honestly, all this happening, even though the Orange League would come up, Ash would easily dominate all that because, well, he's way too strong for it. Cause come on, y'all, you can't say Ash would end up getting a challenge out of this stuff anymore. Because right when he goes back to Kanto, he's going to rerun the gyms again. And, okay, I'm not really going to go through that part because I got to go through a whole tournament and put new people and their Pokemon in there. And I don't really want to do that. But I got to. So, even though the Orange League, people would think it's tough, Ash would just plow right through that very easily. And Ash would realize, wow, he's way too strong for anybody to be going up against him. People would end up falling to, one or two of his Pokemon. Has he really gotten that much tougher? And it's that bad. It's crazy. But finally, Ash would end up making it to a volcano, and his final legendary bird is waiting there for him. All right, the last bout he has to go through. Even Drake, with his Dragonite, couldn't stand up to Ash. I mean, all Ash would even have to bust out was just Snorlax, and then one Ice Punch later, a Dragonite is just down. Oh my gosh, he's just that much too powerful. Way, way too powerful. For a kid who can stand up to legendaries, yeah, not many people are gonna be standing in his way. But it's alright. Time for the final legendary bird. Let's do this. Now, this here is going to be absolutely crazy. Now, this fight immediately, Ash knew what he had to bring here. He had to bring the utmost power, but he also had to stop Moltres from getting started. So Ash's training and the craziest thing is, actually waited for a specific day to actually fight Moltres. And so, when Ash climbed the volcano, Moltres was there waiting for him. So, immediately, Ash knew what he had to do. Zapdos, I choose you! Now, Ash would throw out his legendary bird, and Moltres would glare upon seeing its brethren captured. But Zapdos would go on that Ash isn't a bad trainer. He loves and cares for his Pokemon, and it makes them stronger, as Moltres is about to see. You ready, Zapdos? Zapdos lets out its powerful battle cry, and now it's ready for a fight. That's fine. Moltres is raring to go as well, but then it would start. The rainy day. Ash had waited for the weather forecast to say rain, so Zapdos could get its utmost highest potential out of it. And that way, Moltres would actually be a lot hindered from this. Its fire type attacks would actually not do much, and it would kind of be diminished because of the rain. So, immediately, Ash had to capitalize on this. He immediately told Zapdos to use Thunder, because using Thunder in the rain never misses. So immediately once Zapdos would let off its Thunder, like Moltres would be hit with a super effective Thunder. I mean, it would be it would be even more powered up because of the rainy storm. Moltres getting wet and whatnot. And right immediately Moltres gets hit back, and immediately it would be paralyzed. As Ash would be saying, "Oh man, this is actually much better than he thought it would be." He got the paralysis first try, as now he would tell Zapdos to use Ancient Power, and immediately rocks would come from the volcano as Zapdos would send them at Moltres, hitting Moltres. Like, yes! And crazy enough, Zapdos actually gets the Omni Boost. Alright. As Ash would tell Zapdos to use one more Ancient Power, as would hit Moltres again, getting Zapdos another Omni Boost. Oh, this is just going even so perfect. As now, Ash would call for Zapdos to use one more Thunder. And then, boom! Thunder hitting Moltres, but Moltres is not one to go down without a fight. It's literally the embodiment of flames. Now, Moltres using its hidden ability, Flame Body, would actually heat up its flames so much to the point where it's letting off, it's using its move, Sunny Day, clearing the rainy skies. But Ash would say it's fine, the damage is done. But still, Moltres is now powered up because of the sun. And it would take too long for the sun to go away, for the rain clouds to clear back up. Oh well, at least they hindered Moltres. And all of Zapdos' stats are up twice. So, it would be a lot tougher for Moltres to actually do something to Zapdos. But that would be okay, because immediately Moltres lets off a solar powered flamethrower, and immediately Zapdos would try to run away. But okay, thankfully Zapdos can run away because of its two Omni Boosts, so it's faster. Sorry about that. Hold on. Bless me. Thank you. Now, anyway, on that situation, Zapdos being faster, it actually would end up getting away from Moltres' flamethrower. And Moltres would end up using a Fire Blast, but it just can't hit Zapdos. It's too quick. Now, Ash would say use Thunderbolt now. And Thunderbolt is like much more accurate than a Thunder would be. So Zapdos hitting Moltres with a Thunder, Moltres actually cannot keep up this this level of intensity because it's just too much. With it being paralyzed and very heavily damaged, like there's not really much it can do. So immediately Ash would say it's time to end this, as he would tell Zapdos to go in to charge in for a Sky Attack. And immediately Zapdos would fly into the air, and thankfully, thanks to the sun powering it up, Moltres kind of gave itself away on that one, and immediately shot right down onto Moltres, hitting it square in the back, causing it to get sunk right down into the volcanic rock. Ash would apologize for it and immediately throw an Ultra Ball at Moltres, catching it, signaling Ash's victory. He's done it. He's caught all 3 legendary birds. Now this was a celebration. Ash had done it. He had done what no other trainer besides his dad was able to do. Well, maybe. Because I need to ask you guys this. Hold on. Okay, there we go. And if you guys have seen Pokemon Origins, the movie or something, I've seen it. And it's, okay, very amazing movie. I suggest you guys go watch it, Pokemon Origins. Please and thank you. Now, when Blue was actually about to, spoilers ahead, if you guys don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you guys skip like about a few minutes, like probably a few minutes ahead, probably 1 to 2 minutes ahead, because I want to be quick. Blue said he caught,